Good morning. It's Thursday, the 18th of September. I'm here today to talk about all the recruitment issues that I'm seeing. Basically, the reason why I'm doing this channel is to give honest advice to help candidates who are struggling actually in the current market to find opportunities for various reasons. It may be because the job market isn't great, which it probably isn't at the moment, but it's also the way that the job market has shifted a little bit because there's so many posted job adverts out there that it's very hard for candidates to break through. So today I was speaking to a couple of candidates and they both said the same thing to me, which is like, how do we start? How do we go about doing a job search? How do we start? And these were quite senior candidates, which is quite surprising. So what I said to them is this. Number one is that they've got to get their LinkedIn bios correct for two reasons, which I alluded upon yesterday, which was firstly that they can be discoverable on LinkedIn. And by that, it must be clear what they actually do, and headhunters can find them quite easily. And I've done that and shared that information in my previous videos. The second thing is people will use LinkedIn to reference check. So if you're applying for a job or you're making a cold outreach to someone, they need to see what you do. So everything starts with LinkedIn. Okay, so get your LinkedIn profile correctly, get it correctly drafted, because if you don't, everything falls through. You need that structure, that foundation in place. The second thing to do is to sort out the approach method. Once you've got your LinkedIn bio right, it's your approach method for finding jobs. So there's three ways of doing it, in my opinion. The first one is apply directly. I've given you my thoughts on applying for posted jobs time and time again. I think that it's a bit of a wasted kind of energy process, because most of the jobs out there, as I keep saying, 80% of them, they're not advertised. So 20% of the ones that you see being posted on LinkedIn or job boards are the ones that are advertised, that oversubscribed with people. The HR people get deluged with CVs. It's very hard to get into those positions. And as I said, you've probably got less than a 10% chance of getting a job interview through a posted job advert. And that doesn't include then the stats of, if you get a job interview, what's the likelihood that you're going to get a job offer? And then when you get a job offer, what's the likelihood you're going to accept? So you're talking about less than 1% chance of getting a job through a posted job advert. Okay, so you can do it, but do it correctly. I'll come on to CVs in a minute about this, but if you do apply, make sure that you follow up with a call, whoever the recruitment partner is at that particular firm, to make sure that your CV gets noticed and it's not like under a stockpile of CVs, which happens, and you can't blame HR people. They're very, very busy. So that's direct approaches. Then you've got outreach, direct outreach method, which is basically you find potential companies and contacts at those companies where your skill set and experience matches. Okay, now don't be misguided and think that you've got to be super connected to do that. You don't have to be connected to anyone to do that. Okay, you just do your research and find out what companies do I think want to hire me, and you make approaches. You make a soft approach, saying, look, I've got some great skills that probably match your company, potentially exploring new opportunities. Would you like an informal chat to discuss, to see if there's any synergy? That's all you've got to do. No more than that. No more complications. And you do that through LinkedIn. Okay, and you do that through a tailored invite on LinkedIn. That's the way I do it. Make sure if you do that, if you use just a basic form of LinkedIn, your tailored invites that you can send out get somewhat limited. So you can use a LinkedIn premium service, and there is a package which is only like $16 a month, which probably is worth investing in if you're going to use a direct outreach approach. The other way that you can do it is through using recruiters. I spoke to someone about this today, and we recommend, we've all got different connections and contacts and influence and probably different ways of working. But we recommend perhaps going with 3 or 4 recruiters who you trust and who you think have got knowledge in the market that you specialize in. Okay, so just use 3 or 4 of them. If they do, send you a CV to somewhere for a job, just ask them what the job spec is, or at least what the company is looking for and who the hiring person is and why. Write it down on a list so you can keep a checklist of where your CV has been sent, so there's no duplication, and obviously insist that they don't send out your CV without your permission. So if you do all of those things, on LinkedIn, you get your bio right, you're going to get approached by agents about jobs, and which is great, but just make sure that they give you the details and are not just flying a kite to try and get your CV. Let them give you the job details before you release your CV. Okay. A good recruiter, if you push back on them and say, "Tell me more," they will have an informal off the record discussion with you and tell you who the hiring company is. Okay. If they insist on the CV first, I wouldn't do it. I mean, the fact that if you give someone your confidential private number and your email address, that would be enough for me to be open about the firm that I'm looking to hire for. So if you do your LinkedIn bio, you'll get approached. You can apply for jobs, okay, but I'm telling you now, don't waste all your energy on that. And then if you make direct outreaches, you're going to get interviews. As I've said earlier, you've got to do a lot of volume. Okay, over 100 approaches at least before the interviews start trickling in. Okay, so after that, when you get that and you make the approach, they'll say, "Yeah, we'd like to meet you, have an informal chat," and then at some point they're going to ask for your CV. Now, if you're really good at what you'll do, they'll even forget about your CV. And I've made placements where I've sent an invoice to a client, and when I've sent the invoice, they said, "By the way, I haven't got CV." So I'll send it with the invoice. CV is a passport for your interview, and it just like endorses you. Okay, so they will ask for your CV normally if they want to interview you or chat with you. They might have the informal discussion first before asking for a CV. But to get your CV ready, this is a big change that we're seeing with AI. ChatGPT, you can do an awful lot with it. Whether this is right or wrong, I'll come on to that point in a minute. But for every job that you go for, you need to make sure that your CV is fit for that particular role. So you need to tailor it. Okay. What you do is you match it. You match your experience with the job spec, and I say "your" in capital letters because you don't make it up. Okay, because you're going to fall by the wayside at the interview stage. Okay, so follow the job spec. You can use ChatGPT. It's going to save you a lot of time to rejig your CV. If anyone needs any guidance on how to use ChatGPT in a job search, please message me. But yeah, you get your CV right. Now be careful. Always read what ChatGPT comes up with. Sometimes it will go off hallucinating, as they say, and not giving accurate information. But just check the CV and then put it. We recommend copying it and pasting it in your own kind of type and format onto your own CV. Now that CV then is fit for purpose. It will match your job spec. So number one, it will match any kind of ATS system where employers are tracking CVs to see if you match keywords to their job spec, or manually, if people will manually check. Now, some people will say, "Wow, that's not right. ChatGPT, is kind of cheating." But we've got things like spell check, which we're happy to use. It's just the way the technology is going. I suppose what isn't right is for people to use ChatGPT to make up experience which you haven't got, which is why we recommend employers giving technical when they're interviewing people to give a technical interview. as well as something that comes on to personality. So that's basically how you start your job search. After that, you hope the interviews start rolling in and you start getting job offers. But follow those things. And those were two specific examples of what I've experienced today. The third thing, which I'm not ready yet to dig deep into, but I will do very soon, is about psychometric tests, particularly some types of psychometric testing that we're seeing that we don't think is right, and we think that there should be pushback on it. Now, for all those that are watching or will watch the recorded version, please send me your questions. I'm happy to answer them. I will be doing a live stream every day. I'm trying to give honest advice to candidates to work their way through the minefield of dealing with recruiters, dealing with HR people, dealing with the whole minefield of how to find jobs. I'm trying to help people that are perhaps struggling to get jobs. It just doesn't have to be in legal, it can be in any sector. I'm seeing this across LinkedIn at the moment. So there's people that are really struggling out there to find jobs. And, I get the fact that if you don't have a job at the moment, it's mentally quite challenging for people. And it's a very difficult position and it feels like nothing is moving. Okay, so you've got to take control of the situation and get out there and be proactive and start thinking about how you're going to approach and find jobs. So please do like and subscribe. Please do share this with anyone you think that needs help finding a job. And I look forward to, I won't be on for tomorrow, but I will be starting again with my daily episodes on Monday. And thank you for your time. Have a great day.